Well, I've decided after there we go. I've decided after 20, I don't know how many years of basically not doing any kind of exercise whatsoever, that my body's getting old and tired, and as you already know, it's too fat. So I gotta start exercising. I have this little exercise machine which you ride up and down. This is your body weight. Oops. Like that. But it's just too boring. And hard to will myself to do it. And so I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stab at getting into martial arts class. The reason being that I went and watched one a couple of weeks ago and it looked like a lot of fun. A challenge, you actually learn something, as opposed to just going up and down on this thing over and over and over, which is just boring, and I don't find it very satisfying. Anyway, but kind of to get to why I'm making this video. I made this machine my own personal torture device, and I will set the camera up on my tripod and try to give you a better look at it, so I could stretch my legs. As hard as it may be to believe, there actually was a time when I was somewhat flexible. I could do the splits from front to back. I can't even touch my toes now. I'm not even going to try. And I built that thing thinking, well, maybe I can start stretching my legs, and I don't know, feel like I'm not such an old man or something. So I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod. I just feel like showing somebody my machine. I plan on starting to use this thing starting tonight, and I'm prepared to not be very impressed by what I can't do, but I guess that's fair enough. There we go. So I'm going to try and set this up, and hopefully right about there is where I will sit myself down. First things first though, this is in the way. I'm not sure if I can get it out of the way. How's that? Good enough. So I tested this thing out once when I built it, and that's all I've ever done. I just never felt motivated to actually use the machine, because I just haven't felt like I had a reason to. And now I'm trying to tell myself I have a reason to. Built it out of 2x6. I think that's a 1x6 and a scrap piece of plywood. Bought some string and a few little pulley kind of deals right here. Just slapped it all together, and it's functional enough. And I put this ratchet on it right here. There we go. Let's see if I can manage to get on this beast. See, from looking at it, you just all you have to do when you're sitting on it is reach out to your left side and start cranking this. And it basically pulls your legs into doing the splits, at least to whatever degree you're able to go. So I figure slow and easy, not too pushing my luck. I don't want to injure myself. Should be able to, whether I ever get to the point where I can do the splits or not, I'm not really too concerned. I'm more just wanting to get half decently flexible, I guess you could say. So I guess that's about as far as I'm going to be able to go. Maybe a bit more, it might go a bit farther. Stupid thing's still in the way. Well, hopefully I can get into that. I just want to see what you're seeing so I can tell if I need to move the camera here. Yeah. Well, probably should move it up a bit because otherwise my head will be cut off from the camera and I'm going to look really stupid. Okay, so there it is, folks. I don't remember what it cost. I think the most expensive part was probably that, I don't remember what you call that thing, spool, ratchet, crank, whatever. I guess crank. That probably set me back $15 or $20. You know, the boards, all of the wood together probably cost 20. Let's say at the outside it cost maybe 50 bucks. I don't think it even cost that much to build it. So I will try and get in this thing. I know that I could have built it better. I don't think I'm even going to be able to get my legs in there. Seal the old fat man. Yeah, that's just too... close the gap. That's pretty sad. Means I gotta do this. If I want to use it. That's the problem with this house is not enough room. The rooms are all too small. There we go. The novice level all over again. I'm sure that it could be improved. There's a lot of ways, obviously. You're probably looking at this video right now thinking you could have done a better job building it, and I'm sure that that's true. Maybe put some padding in here, a bit of padding back here, you know, better materials, whatever. I'm just going to have one more look at the camera. I want to make sure it's centered right on the middle. I guess it's good enough, eh? Just leave it alone, Al. Okay, let the torture begin. Now you look at this string and you think that string's not nearly strong enough to use for stretching your legs, but you'd be surprised. I'm sure that the maximum load for this string is probably only 50 pounds or something, but you don't actually have to put all that much tension on the twine itself. It's like you just crank it a bit and your leg muscles seem to just gradually ease up, and you know, so let's just find out where I'm at, because where I'm at isn't where I want to be, but it is what it is. So I think I'll take these off. see if I can even touch my toes. Oh, that's encouraging. At least I can just sort of, that hurts. Touch them. Okay. So there is to it. Gradually. I actually built a leg stretcher machine back in 1985. It wasn't as quote-unquote sophisticated as this, mind you. It didn't have a crank or a string. It was just basically a 2x4 sticking out the middle, kind of a thing like this in the back, and I had a bunch of holes drilled in the 2x4 with a leg stretcher thing like this, and a couple of boards that went in like this, and you would just basically set it where you wanted it to be, and then I would have to slide into it, and then I would start doing this, and I could take my chest and go right down and put my head right there, with it way out like that. So I have to admit this is really embarrassing, but maybe I just get past the embarrassment here and see what I can do. So right there, that actually is putting tension right here on the inside of my legs, and that's barely like, I mean, that's not even a 90-degree angle, you know what I'm saying? That's like maybe 65, 70 degrees. And but in 2 weeks, I'm going to be taking some free classes at one of the local martial arts schools, and I'd like to be able to at least do some low kicks without ripping something in my leg or in my back or whatever else. I'm not really wanting to get injured. I'm not entertaining any notions about being, you know, in the kind of shape maybe I was in my 20s, but I'd like to at least be healthy, which I don't feel like I am right now. So, there we go. Enough talk. Let's do some stretching. Look at that thing. Big old fat roll of jelly. Oh man. But hey, you know something? When I was a teenager, I was no more flexible than I am now. When I was, let's say, 16 years old, I was probably not even as flexible, which is saying something because I'm not flexible at all right now. And by the time I was 17, I got flexible enough that I could put one leg like this and one leg like that behind me and hit the floor. So I couldn't do it sideways. I could only get maybe about that high above the ground sideways, but I could get either leg out to the front and out to the back. And it didn't seem like it was that hard. Mind you, that was a teenager's body, not a middle-aged guy. I'm thinking, hey, it's worth a try. Do it a little slower. Please don't send me some comment about my stretching technique. I'm sure it's just as bad as you think it is. I'm just playing around with the machine. That's all I'm doing. But any pointers would be appreciated. Just keep them constructive. That's all I'm asking. I'll try and remember to take the camera down and show you some close-ups just in case you want to try building one of these. It wasn't that hard to build it. Maybe took me a couple of hours to build it. Skill saw, crescent wrench, pair of pliers, screwdriver. I think that's about all I needed, and a drill for tools. That's all I used. Nothing fancy. Just little metal angle brackets to put these on. You're probably looking at think it looks pretty flimsy, and it probably is flimsy, but I'm not jumping up and down on it. I'm just sitting here in one spot and gradually cranking up the tension a bit. So that's close to a 90-degree angle, but not yet. I'm sure somebody's going to say, "Oh, Al, you shouldn't be bouncing like that. It's not good for you." Well, maybe. So we'll call this the before video. How about that? I'll come back in a couple of months and do a second video, assuming that I keep doing this, and see if I've made any real progress. Just find out where I'm at tonight, though. Yeah, just you can really feel it right there. It feels like a piano wire, guitar string or something, just tensed right up. What's nice about this is it takes almost no effort at all back here, and you can do it in just the most gradual increments, like one notch at a time. Barely moves it, it just maybe moves a 1/4 inch. So you can just really gradually ease into the whole thing. Still not at a 90-degree angle. The camera doesn't show it, but it's probably, there's 90, probably right about there. But anyway, like I say, who needs to spend hundreds of dollars, right? And I mean, if you like building stuff, right, which I do like building my own stuff because I'm a cheap guy. That's about as far as I'm going to take it. But what's nice about this thing is if you don't have a stretching partner, you know, what I used to do with my friend was we would sit here like this facing each other, and one of us would put the feet right here into the back, into the calves, and you know, pull on the other guy and just push the legs out. And this gives you a lot more control because you can do it more gradually. You know, your friend isn't going to accidentally push his leg too fast or too hard and, you know, injure you here, which I've had happen before when I was a kid. And yeah, when I was 17. I guess you could always do this too, just to kind of find out where you're at. Well, that's enough for one night. I'm done. Okay. Stop it right there. Oh, man. Okay, so let's get a closer look at this this machine here. First things first, on the bottom here there are little casters put there just to let it somewhere down there. There we go. That's how it rolls back and forth. And the string goes along back to here. I just use a couple of little pulleys to bring the string along. And then this little board here is just to keep the thing from tipping over frontwards or backwards when I eventually get to the point where this is all the way in there. I don't want the thing flopping over backwards or forwards with me on it. Yeah, so I don't want it flopping over backwards or forwards. Anyway, and then this one in the middle just to kind of keep the thing in line so it doesn't get snagged up. And this, I actually don't remember how I attached that on there, but maybe I just glued it or toenailed it. I don't see any screws. Anyway, I guess you can put that on any old way you want. It's not a big deal. Piece of scrap plywood. I drilled multiple holes in here. This is just a, just a carriage bolt with a nut on the bottom and a washer. No bushings or anything fancy. I mean, who needs bushings for this, right? It's not really doing a whole lot of movement. The reason I put these holes on here is because I didn't know how it was going to fit for me, and I wanted to be able to adjust the length of it. And somebody shorter might want it moved back. Somebody who's got longer legs might want it moved forward a few inches. Whatever. It's just try to make it a little bit useful. So the other string comes in the other side here, goes up here into this this is the kind of thing you see on the front of the little trailers, where people used to roll their boat in with the aircraft cable, pull their boat onto the trailer. So that's it. Nothing fancy, but it should get the job done. At least that's what I hope. So we'll come back in a couple of months, maybe, if I ever remember to do that, and I will do a follow-up video seeing how much progress I've made, if any, on getting flexible. So that's where I'm at right now. Not very good, but hey, we all have to start somewhere, so I'm not going to feel bad about it. And thanks for watching.